my name is Kelly Bluen. I am a certified Zentangle teacher. Welcome to 15 Minutes of Zen. In these videos, I show you how to make one tangle that you can then use later to combine with other tangles and patterns. So today, I'm teaching you one called Buen Camino, and it was created by Tina Hunziker, a certified Zentangle teacher. And I don't typically talk about the stories behind the tangles, but this one today, I do kind of want to talk about. So if you just want to skip ahead to the drawing, go ahead and fast forward 30 seconds or so. But I want to talk about the materials and then the meaning behind this tangle. So today I'm using a Micron PN plastic nib pen. I have a graphite pencil to do some drawing and shading, and a blending tool called a tortillion. This is just a paper blending tool. You can get any blending tool from any art store. I'm also using a little 2" by 2" tile called the Bijou tiles. These are available at Zentangle.com. Okay, so Buen Camino means good way. And I found this accidentally a month or two ago as I was going through different tangle patterns. And it's got like a seashell pattern. I thought it was beautiful, so I made a note to look it up and maybe practice it. And what I didn't realize is that it is the symbol of a trail in Portugal, Madrid, and Spain that is called the Camino de Santiago, which means the way of St. James. So my son is 19 and he's on a college trip taking a class, and he is going to Madrid. Well, he left for Madrid a couple days ago, and he'll be there for 2 weeks doing this pilgrimage on this trail. So he will be there for 2 weeks, and I think he's hiking about 10 days, and they hike between 10 and 20 miles a day, and it's such a cool experience. So look up Camino de Santiago. And Tina created this little seashell pattern after she walked part of the trail in Portugal. And they use the seashell as the symbol of the Camino, of the path. And I guess it dates back to the 10th century. And these pilgrims used to make this Christian pilgrimage across the country to go see the tomb of St. James. And they would use seashells to get water from springs and lakes. So, yeah, so much history, so very cool. And so after she did some hiking, she came up with this pattern that represents the seashell. So I will stop talking about that and get right to drawing it. Okay, so this is one of those that is not so much a repeatable pattern as it is more of like a symbol or a single thing that you would draw. Still absolutely beautiful, just not like an easily repeatable pattern. So I'm going to start with my pencil. And I'm going to put 4 dots in each of the 4 corners. And I'm going to connect those so lightly because I'm going to draw over this a lot today. I still want that little square in there. Okay, this one took me a few times to practice, and so I hope that I tell it to you in a way that makes sense. And if you're not quite ready to do it on a tile yet, grab a piece of scrap paper and just follow along and practice. Okay, with my pencil, I'm going to draw a small circle in the corner, just inside the box. And then I'm going to draw a line going up and out right over the side, and up and out over that side. And then I'm going to draw this curved line connecting them. So you kind of have that seashell shape. Nice and light. Now I'm going to go ahead and pick up my pen, but if you would still like to continue in pencil, go ahead. So now that I have this shape down, I'm going to put in these little, I don't know, I call them scallops, but I don't know if that's the right term or if scallop is more the shape of the whole shell. But I'm going to start in the center, and I'm not going to put a very wide one, but I'm going to put one like that. So I start at the circle and I go up and make this scallop shape or this teardrop shape. Not sure what you want to call it. And I'm going to do another one beside it. And one on this side. And I'm just going back and forth. And I've got room for one more little one over here. And one more over there. I made these ones a little bit shorter because I want these to sort of come in down there. This little line that I made was just a guide. Then I'm going to go ahead and ink in that circle. Then I'm going to go out a little ways on each side and put these little things that look like legs. Then I'm going to kind of curve it and come up. Inside those, I'm going to put 2 more lines. And inside this little circle, I'm going to put a little dot in the bottom, and then I'm just going to bring some little lines down towards that center. Okay, now I'm going to go back up here towards the middle, and I'm going to do a very thin aura, which means I'm just going to go over the top of that first little shape, and I'm going to scoop down, and then I'm going to go back up and down, back up, dip down, back up, and come all the way back in. So scoop down and up, nice and slow. Don't rush this. And now we've got that little seashell shape. So if you look up Buen Camino Zentangle, or you go to tanglepatterns.com and you look this up, Tina has absolutely gorgeous variations of this. She fills these little areas with so many unique patterns. I'm going to keep mine very simple as to how she did it originally, but feel free to get creative. Okay, I'm going to take this first one here, and I'm going to start putting in little bumps. So I'm basically starting at the previous one and then going up and coming back down into it. So not straight across, but going up and then back down. Do this carefully and slowly. The hope is that this is relaxing for you. I'm going to go to the one beside it and do the same thing. I'm not counting these, they don't need to be the same. Now, just before I sat down to make this, my son called me from Madrid and told me he was having the most amazing time that there was so much culture and so much kindness. And he just is having the time of his life. So tomorrow, he sets out on the trail and will walk all the way to the northwestern part of Spain. And the trail, people walk this for months. He's just doing a small portion. But they end up at a cathedral where they believe St. James was buried. And it started as a Christian pilgrimage. And now it's just done by anyone. You don't have to be religious, don't have to be Christian. It's just sort of a journey to find yourself, a journey of healing. And if you're on the trail, you actually become a pilgrim and you wear this symbol. And I don't know if it's on a necklace or how that works, but you wear this symbol. And then all along the trail, you get discounts on food. You get into hostels very inexpensively. People will invite you into their homes and make you food. So it's a pretty neat adventure to become a pilgrim and walk on this. All right, just still filling in each of these little shapes. I love this one because we get to make the same line over and over again. That's very calming to me. All right, if you haven't caught up that far yet, go ahead and pause it and start it back up again when you're ready. But I'm going to move on to the next step. So I left a little space between these. I didn't really mention that as I was drawing it. So if you don't have a lot of space, it's okay. But now I'm going to go and make my bumps the opposite way. So I'm going to start between these two shapes here. And I'm going to scoop down. And I'm not trying to match up the lines. Scoop down and up. Try to get that little curve in there if you can. I love this effect of making these lines go opposite ways and how it brings these ones forward and pushes those ones towards the back, giving it a three-dimensional look without even doing any shading yet. I love it. So that is it. Like I said, it's more of a symbol than a repeatable pattern, but it'd be fun to do several of these in a row and then fill them in with different designs. So I'm going to go ahead and ink in that little box that I made. I just lift my pen when it touches that shell shape. And I'm going to put a second line around that. Just because. And then if you would like to put anything in the background, you can. I really wanted to do something where I added some wavy lines or some little stippling, but I kind of like this just as is. So I'm just going to do some shading and leave it. Right, I'm going to pick up my graphite pencil, and I'm going to pick that first scallop shape, and I'm just going to put some graphite down right on the edge, the inside edge of that. And then same on the other side. Now when I take my blending tool, I soften it by pushing it out towards the center, but not all the way out. I want to leave some white. Look at how three-dimensional that looks. I'm going to do it on the next one. I like to put mine on pretty dark. And I'm just going to go ahead and put them on all of them while I've got the pencil in my hand. So Buen Camino, I don't know if I mentioned this, means good way. And so Tina, who created this, said when you are a pilgrim on the path, the common greeting is Buen Camino, which just means, you know, enjoy your path, have a good day or a good journey. And I just love that. Okay, I'm going to soften these up. So cool. And I'm going to put a little bit down here. And then I'm going to put some all along the outside of that whole shell shape. Sometimes I do this if I want that image to just pop off the paper a little bit. I might push that all the way out. There we go. Ooh, I love it so much. Initial our work. And then on the back, I always add the date, and I add a little journal entry, so I can't wait to write on this one. A year ago, my son at 18, we live in Michigan in the United States, and my son at 18 decided he wanted to go to the island of Hawaii, the island of Kauai, actually, for the summer. And so I did a tangle that was a hibiscus flower. It was so beautiful. And I love having these little symbols of his journeys. So I hope you enjoyed this one. And I want us all to just remember that Buen Camino. Have a good day. Have a good adventure. I hope that your path is wonderful. And we'll see you next week. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.